Good morning, YouTube. It is Tuesday morning, January 10th, 2023, 5:57 a.m. Yeah, damn near 6 o'clock, and I'm still over here by the PetSmart warehouse, which is right across the street from the Amazon warehouse I work at. And yeah, there's the lovely Saturn. You know, I mentioned that about a week ago I nearly wiped out on the freeway, and miraculously I didn't get hurt. There is a little bit of damage on the front of my car. Hang on, let me get the light on from the Obama phone. Maybe it'll make enough light that y'all can see it because it's still dark out. Yeah, that happened. It's not bad. It didn't happen tonight, by the way. That happened about a week ago. But yeah, you can see it scraped up against the side of the concrete enough to get down to the can't seem to hold the light and point at the same time, but yeah, down to the black plastic there and there. I got a feeling it'll probably buff out and paint up okay, but and it's not like my car didn't already have some blemishes, but yeah, that sucks. Anyway, so I'm here super late, like a good 20 minutes late, rolling out of the warehouse, and I came over here because I realized I really had to water a tree and had no chance of making it home. And I figured, well, what the hell? I'll come over here and see what's going on here. Since it's been a long time, many months since I've taken the bus to Amazon, and it used to be quite a homeless encampment here at the closed off end of the 79th Avenue I-10 overpass. But I do see a pickup truck over there. Almost walked right into it. It's so dark. But yeah, no obvious homeless encampment here like I used to walk through every day on the way to work. Yeah, it looks like that big van that used to always be there is gone, and all the other. I do see a vehicle kind of out in the field. I don't know if I zoom in. Yeah, you can kind of see it. That's kind of questionable. But I mean, no RVs, no tents, nothing like that. Not even down in the ditch over there. So either all the people that were squatting over here decided it was time to move on, or more likely than not, Phoenix PD came and told them that they couldn't continue to squat here, which is, I don't know, I got mixed feelings about it. As much as I hate the whole homeless situation and all the drugs that tend to run rampant, and crime that tends to run rampant, and the littering that runs rampant around homeless encampments, I do feel like for people who are down on their luck that have a vehicle or a tent or an RV that they can stay in, I do feel like there should be places where people can go and live like that if they want to. It's interesting. We got a really nice rug over here. If y'all can kind of see the pattern, that is a nice rug. It's some kind of a motorized shopping cart from somewhere. Can't see where it's from. Random. So I haven't come up here in a long time. I figured it'd be fun to just kind of walk and see what this is like. So the gate is open again. Figured it'd be just a matter of time till that happened. We got a shopping cart here. Y'all probably can't hear me because I-10 is loud. I do kind of miss making this journey on foot. And looks like ADOT has repaired the chain link. But people have still been slipping through this gap here. You know, to me, it's just really sad that the city of Phoenix hasn't continued and made this bit of 79th Avenue go through. With all the, now, when this was built by ADOT, when I-10 was completed and expanded, only 25 years ago, maybe closer to, yeah, about 25 years ago, there was nothing to the south of here. All these warehouses, like the one I work in, the ones adjacent to them, was nothing. It was just fields. Just, I think cotton fields, other types of fields to the south here. So it made sense for this road to not go anywhere. But as that's all been developed since, it just seems asinine that we've got literally less than a quarter of a mile where it's not completed to a road where there's 4 large places of employment. You got the PetSmart warehouse, you got Amazon GYR3, KRB3, which is the building I work in, and then off to the left you've got Amazon PHX7, I think it's PHX7, and then past that, I forget the name of the transportation company, but a large transportation company that's a subcontractor for Valley Metro is over there. And it sure would be helpful if all the people that work there would have the option of using that exit when they're carpooling to go to work. And it certainly, I think for some people, it would be an encouragement to carpool. So while this area has been cleaned up a lot, there used to be a lot of debris up here when I was walking to work all the time. It's like ADOT at least cleaned this up when they repaired the chain link. Yeah, the hole over here is been sealed off too. ADOT fixed that hole. Looks like people made a little bit of one. I'm absolutely wasting time right now. And normally I'd be in more of a hurry to get home, but I've got a project. Holy shit, it's loud up here. I-10, all the people headed eastbound into Phoenix. And that's the space underneath. It was supposed to be for a future light rail corridor, but will probably never be a light rail corridor because over that direction, when they added the Loop 202 interchange, they used the space that was set aside for future light rail to put in additional freeway lanes. So, yeah. ADOT doesn't care nothing about transit. I miss walking across this bridge. Well, I don't miss the noise of that freeway. In my car, it's easy to not notice how loud that freeway is because I got my windows rolled up and my radio on. But holy crap, kind of forgot how loud it is when you walk across it on this bridge. Oh, what time is it now? 6:05, so missed the, assuming that the schedule hasn't changed since I was riding this bus home from work every day, I missed it by about 7-8 minutes, something like that. It's hard to remember exactly when I stopped taking the bus and started driving. Now it seems like I've been driving for quite a while, but boy, that time period that I was taking the bus to work just seemed to last forever. Well, looks like they're still having a challenge keeping this tree trimmed above the sidewalk. Kind of having to duck my head getting through here. It still seems weird to me that that sidewalk swings so far out more than it needs to. Feels good. It's kind of It's chilly out here, but it's not as cold as it has been. First time in a while I've gone out to my car in the parking lot after my shift at Amazon and didn't need to turn on the defrost to either make the fog go away or make the ice go away. The windshield was nice and clear when I got in my car. Yeah, nobody camping in the little bus shelter. That's nice. Used to be kind of a crapshoot as to whether or not there'd be somebody sleeping at when I come here after work. And yeah, this is the bus shelter I used to wait at for the rapid bus. See if the screen's still working. It is. Next I-10 West Rapid. Should be here in 22 minutes. For some reason I thought they were more frequent than that. Oh well. You can see the time, 6:07 a.m., 6:08 a.m. January 10th, 2023. Stop number 2572. I think that's for the next ride feature of the Valley Metro system. Not like you really need to use that when you've got a screen right there showing when the next ride is. So 2572. Here's the next ride sign. Oh no, for next ride it's stop number 16878. I don't know what that stop number there represents. Anyway, this is a fun blast to the past. And a stray cat wandering across the bus lane. So yeah, I'm just kind of killing time. I got quite the project lined up for this morning. Apparently I'm not sure if it's the gas station across the street from Rob's shop. My friend Rob, who takes care of my cars and storing some of my old cars. Storing a whole freaking junkyard for me at this point. Anyway, so I'm not sure if it's I guess the gas station directly across the street apparently changed ownership, and they've been letting him use it as auxiliary storage. They get a little bit of space adjacent to it, and they've been letting him use it for auxiliary vehicle storage, and that's where my old Mercedes-Benz has been parked for God, about a year and a half. Might be closer to 2 years at this point. It's been a long time since I've driven my Benz. Yeah, project today is to try to move it from there. I talked to Rob right before I went to work last night, and he said that he's got, I forget how much time he has, but it's not much, that he needs to get all the vehicles that are there out of there. One of which is my Benz. Unfortunately, that's the only vehicle of mine that's over there. I think he used to have my Lexus there as well, but I moved that somewhere else a while ago. I haven't seen my Lexus in ages. Not that I'm planning on doing anything with my Lexus, but it's a part of me that would like to take the car stereo out of it. Maybe put it into the Saturn. Lexus has a pretty damn nice car stereo in it. Then again, so does the Benz. But I know these people aren't going to yield to me, so I may as well just stop and wait. And look down at the space where the underpass is, where there was supposed to be light rail. That's never going to happen. Yeah, I'm not sure how far it was initially tentatively planned to go, but I know it was supposed to go farther west than here along I-10 in that extra wide median. But yeah, I go about a mile that direction, and my median got filled up with additional lanes for the interchange with the Loop 202. And I believe, like at the time that the light rail was tentatively planned, so was the connection to Loop 202. If memory serves, the light rail was supposed to be expanded before the bit of the 202 that goes around South Mountain, but yeah. Somehow the light rail never really made it past the drawing board, and Loop 202 got expedited because people in Phoenix drive. I do often wonder what it would be like to live in a city that's more public transit oriented. I really do enjoy using public transit when it's functional, but yeah, I haven't used it much since the car's been reliable, and it's just because it just doesn't make much sense to use in Phoenix most of the time. It's because it's so much slower than driving. With little exception. I really do miss chilling on the rapid bus though after work. Back in those times, it really was one of the best 15 minutes of my day. Just relaxing on that nice ride, and sometimes just looking at the traffic, most of the time looking at my phone and plugging it in, getting a little extra charge on it, and ooh, it got chilly in here. Getting a little extra charge on it, and
Katie Hobbs, Governor of the state of Arizona. During her first State of the State speech, Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs said our water situation's worse than we thought. She accused former Governor Ducey of withholding a report that shows part of the Far West Valley. 15.
All right. Now that she's governor, her game for the next however many months is probably going to be blame Ducey. Not to make light of the water situation here in Arizona, and there could be some substance to that. I just turned it down because I don't want to hear it. I'll find out about it in due time. Always got some trucks parked over here, just waiting to get docked into one of these big warehouses in this area. It's 6:14 a.m. now, so I imagine the people that I see coming into Amazon right now are day shift management, getting ready to start their shift. It's kind of early for day shift associates to be showing up. Oh, and I got my late start. The reason I was late coming out of the warehouse today, because I didn't even leave the parking lot until 5:40. I don't want to go into too many details, but let's just say there was a problem on the outbound docks today. Yeah, I don't really want to go any more details on it, but it was very much a employee related issue, and some people are probably going to be in trouble. I hope nobody gets fired. I never want to see anybody get fired. Well, generally don't want to see anybody get fired. But long story short, a handful of people disappeared. I don't want to get stuck on I-10 right yet. A handful of people disappeared and didn't really let anybody disappeared from the north side, didn't let anybody on the south side know about it, and yeah, kind of hit the fan. I was the first one. I was actually the only driver that was asked to go over there and try to straighten stuff up, and I arrived there to a situation that was way beyond my ability to fix it. I mean, I did a little bit. I opened and closed some doors and ended up loading not much, 8 pallets. It's something. Well, you know, at least I was, at least wherever the chips fall from this situation, it's good to know. My understanding, it's been escalated all the way to the general manager of the warehouse, and I don't think it caused that big of a problem, but it came frighteningly close to causing that much of a problem. Anyway, it's my understanding it got escalated all the way to the general manager of the warehouse, and I just, you know, at least I can take comfort in knowing that no matter how the chips fall as a result of this, that it will be noted by someone somewhere that I was part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, that's not the only reason I was late getting out the building. That was the biggest part of it. It resulted in me being there a little bit later, and then kind of had to go back to the other side to return my tablet and my scanner. I mean, maybe I didn't absolutely have to, but as a general rule, I try to always return, when I check out a tablet and or a scanner, I try to always return it from where I checked it out from, to maintain the, you know, amount that's supposed to be there. At the beginning of my shift, there was absolutely no scanners on the south side outbound docks, and there were plenty when I ended my shift yesterday. So, yeah, at least by me making sure I return mine where I found it, I'm being part of the, in a small way, part of the solution as opposed to being part of the problem. So, anyway, I went there, had a bit of a chat with Alex about kind of what had gone down, and then ran into John on my way out the building, one of the drivers who primarily works on the south side, who's definitely one of my favorite people to work with. And one of the few drivers, forklift operators, that's notably older than I am. I'm wondering if I should have turned right here or kept driving straight. There's a way to back road without going to Van Buren and without crossing I-10. But it's been so long since I've done it. I'm brain farting on whether the better way to do it was to keep going straight or to turn right. I think actually turning right is the better way to do it, even though there's a sign that says no through traffic. This is actually the way to go for through traffic. That's just one of those signs that the city of Phoenix puts to try to discourage people from driving in front of all these houses. This is a residential street in an area that has a lot of industrial traffic. As you can see by all the taillights in front of me, people are well aware this is a through street. This is West Roosevelt Street, by the way, which is the half mile in the Phoenix grid system. It's these signs should not be out. I'm still not going to speed in the school zone, but those signs really shouldn't be out. Yeah, in the Phoenix grid system, Roosevelt Street is the half-mile street between Van Buren and McDowell. 1000 North. And it's an old enough Phoenix street, not this far out west, but in the like central part of Phoenix, that it used to have a different name. And currently it's named after former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but it used to have another name because the original bit of the street, you know, between like 7th Street and 7th Avenue, actually predates Roosevelt's presidency. So. And once upon a time, I used to know what that street was, but you know, I love looking at historic maps. But I can't remember at the moment. Normally, I'm full of that kind of Phoenix street and transportation trivia. Anyway, my train of thought completely derailed. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, tonight. Yeah, I expect as a result of what happened at the end of the shift this morning that there will be some. Oh, nice! They're getting ready to widen the street. I can see the curb. Oh, you can even see it in the video there. You can see the curb on the right, and a brand new warehouse going in on the right, and they are filling out the street, make it nicer and wider. And then when I roll through here, it's either going to be a bunch of no parking signs or it's going to be a bunch of semis parked waiting to dock. Oh, looks like they're going to make that road go through to the south too. Pretty sure that's 50. I believe that'd be 55th Avenue right there. Wow, another big warehouse going in. It's been a while since I've driven out this direction. Like all these unfinished cast warehouse buildings were not there the last time. I mean, I can look through them and see, and you can't really see that in the video, but I can look through them and see there's still shells. There's nothing inside them. But God, they are huge, and those were not there the last time I drove down this road. Yeah, I'm totally wasting time right now, deliberately. As opposed to trying to get home, because even if the freeway's jammed up, it's quicker for me to go across on Van Buren than it is to do this. But I'm taking the scenic route, enjoying the drive. Since the last thing I want to do is get home too early and fall asleep before Rob shows up to pick me up to go move my bins. So I think the plan is he's coming to pick me up, and then I'm going to get in it, and we're going to try to see if we can get it to start. It's been well over a year since I've started it, so I'm sure the battery is dead as a doornail. And yeah, bad things happen to cars that sit so long. Now, it used to be, last time I attempted to drive it, the Benz started up without a problem. It'd start, motor was fine. No issues at all with the motor. Motor's still V6 in that. It's a good, strong motor. But the transmission is pretty much shot. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it just kind of slips into a neutral and spins. And I just decided that it really wasn't, in the condition that Benz is in, it's just really not worth the cost of replacing the transmission. At this point, it's just simply worth more as a parts car. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's been quite some time since I've mentioned my Benz on my vlog, or even thought about the fact that I own a Mercedes. But yeah, it's been one of those things that, one of these days I'm going to get around to, and just no real reason to worry about it. I think this is where I want to go left. Yeah, this I think is the road I was thinking of before, when I was talking about I couldn't remember if I wanted to go to the left or go to the, keep kind of going straight, which veered to the left, or I wonder if I can get into the QT from here, or if I wanted to go to the just past a QT on the left. So curious now if I can get into that QT from this back road without getting onto 51st Avenue. Yeah, I was trying to remember if it was better to go to the left or go to the right, and I went to the right, obviously. obviously that was the better of the routes. But this one, definitely the thoroughfare is going to the left, which is what I did. Like I'm doing. I forget what the name of the street is, but I do know this is going to get me all the way to 43rd. Don't know what's up with all the construction signs on the side of it, though. Those weren't there the last time I came through here. And the funny thing is, it doesn't look like there's any construction going on either. It looks like it's just there to try to enforce no parking. So functionally like a I-10 access road right now. I don't know if there's anything between, other than a fence and some landscaping between me and I-10 right now. I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not. So anyway, I expect to see some, I don't know, kind of curious to see what the repercussions of tonight will be. I expect there will be some personnel changes in the department as a result of it. If there's not, I'll be highly surprised. Anyway, so back to my bends. Yeah, the plan is, I am probably not going to make this light, dang it. Maybe. Oh my God, I made it. That was 43rd Avenue. Man, that guy's got some bright ass lights. Yikes. Some extra LEDs on the bottom of that guy's bumper should be illegal. That was blinding for me. And it's back on Roosevelt. I don't think that stretch where I was adjacent to the freeway, I'm not sure if that's called Roosevelt or not. I'm thinking it's not, but it might be. It's been a while since I've looked at that on a map. It's functionally Roosevelt though. And yeah, this stretch of Roosevelt goes through all the way to 27th Avenue. Back in the days when I was a cab driver, this used to be one of the many favorite back roads that I had for avoiding rush hour traffic if I had to work in this part of town. Because even though most of this is 25 and 30 miles per hour, the half-mile streets in this area all cross. Now most of them cross I-10 without an intersection. So when the I-10 intersections get super congested, you just drive right across here. Kids on their way to school this early. Yikes. Yeah, you can just drive right across the freeway, no matter how bad that traffic is at the intersections or on the freeway. And when Van Buren is horribly congested, McDowell is horribly congested, and I-10 is horribly congested, well, granted, I might only be doing 25 and 30 miles per hour here on Roosevelt. I'm actually doing 25 and 30 as opposed to sitting in traffic. So I really do miss being a taxi driver. It's always fun using back roads like this and having passengers asking me, are you sure you're going the right way? Are you sure you're going the right way? Especially after GPS became such a thing, because they'd see that I wasn't using GPS and I'm just driving down these streets that they don't know go through. I'm like, nah, I've been doing this a long time. Been doing this a long time. I know where I'm going. So at 35th Avenue, Carl Hayden High School on the right, which is where my mother and my stepfather went to high school and probably met. Good times. Yeah, so the bends. We're going to try to get it started. Hopefully it starts. See if I can drive it. See if the transmission wants to play nice. Hopefully it does. And in which case Rob is going to follow me. He said if it doesn't work out, that he would pull me but honestly, I'm pretty sure my AAA membership is still valid. So if a little 3-door Saturn, don't see those every day. I really regret now when I saw one for sale like about a year ago around Thomas and 16th Street, and I really regret that I didn't call about that one and try to buy it when I saw it. Not that I need another damn vehicle, but I would really like to have one of those. And it was really, really clean too. Anyway, yeah, I think if the transmission doesn't want to play nice and the car doesn't want to play nice, I think I'll just have AAA tow it home. Pretty sure the distance from anywhere between Rob's shop and my apartment is within the distance that the AAA doesn't charge me for a tow. All right, made it to 31st Avenue, and just like 39th Avenue, that also goes across I-10 without an intersection. Guess that guy's parking on the sidewalk. Alrighty then. This is one hell of a tough neighborhood through here, by the way. I do think at one time it used to be a middle-class neighborhood. probably when my mother was in high school. But yeah, this has been pretty much ghetto as long as I can remember. It certainly was a bad part of town by the time I started driving a taxi in 1992. And one thing that certainly was interesting about driving a taxi is, like, no matter how much you think you know a city, and prior to me driving a taxi, I felt like I really knew Phoenix, like really knew Phoenix. But yeah, no matter, oh yeah, I can see I-10 off to the left, and it's just crawling. Turn that so y'all can see it. I think there it is. You can see the lights of I-10 up there. It's just crawling. Yeah, being stuck in traffic on I-10 is not my idea of a good time. Ooh, that's bouncing quite a bit. That's very well. Yeah, I felt like I really knew Phoenix really well, and as far as like the street layout and stuff, I pretty much did. But yeah, when I started driving a cab, it was a wake-up call of just how much of the city I really didn't know. But after a couple of years in a cab, yeah, I just overshot the street I was trying to turn left on. Oh, damn it. That looked like it was a driveway right there. It was a driveway right there. Oh well, this is the street I wanted to go down. It's been a while since I've gone down there. I've noticed that the city of Phoenix has been really trying to make some effort on making homeless encampments go away, and super sketchy mobile home park on the right. Wow, that's still a thing. But it does look like the homeless encampment along this street is gone. Blah. I forget what street this is. I want to say Pierce. Yeah, last time I came down here, it wasn't like it. At one point, it was just about as bad as the zone. The last time I came through here, they had got rid of most of the tents along the fence line to the left, because it used to be just solid tents all the way to just about 27th Avenue. And on the right side, there were also some tents and some RVs, but it looks like everything's been removed. So, of course, every time I see that I just wonder, where did they go? Because you run homeless people that have encampments like that off. They don't just cease to exist. They got to go somewhere. Speaking of homeless people being run off, I haven't been watching German in Venice that much lately because he's not in Venice anymore. He went back to Germany. And I know he's still vlogging, and I feel bad. I used to watch him all the time. To the point he almost felt like he almost felt like a friend, even though I never did meet him. But he did respond to a few of my comments every now and then. But yeah, Mike, aka German in Venice. I haven't watched a couple of his vlogs since he's been back to Germany, and it's still cool seeing him. He's still the bubbly, energetic person that he's always been. But the main reason I watched his vlog, I mean, obviously, because he's a great personality to watch. But the main reason I watched his vlog was because he covered. He was more than anybody covering the homeless crisis in and around LA, particularly on Venice Beach. But then he also covered a lot of stuff in the LA area, which, while I've never lived in the LA area, it's the next major city to the west. So, it's a place that I've been spending notable amounts of time in since I was a child. So. Well, I've never lived in LA. I do kind of feel I do have a lot of connections to LA and friends in LA, and watching German in Venice's YouTube channel, I would see places that I haven't seen in a long time, and then discover new places. But when he would describe where they were, I would know where they were. So. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning that is my YouTube recommendations. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before. I got recommended a channel that I haven't watched in quite some time called Santa Monica something. Yeah, that's not the name of the channel. It has Santa Monica in it. And I watched that channel before, and at the time I was regularly watching German in Venice. That other channel was also covering a lot of the same stuff with the homeless encampment cleanups and the homeless crisis at Venice Beach. So it was kind of neat. I'd watch both channels and get to see just different perspectives of what's going on. It was kind of funny. Oh wow, nice headlights there. Between both channels, I felt like I was at Venice Beach every day, just watching that stuff. And eventually, I did take a trip there and shoot a couple videos down there myself. I'm gonna head back over to Roosevelt. Since I turned off Roosevelt where it ended, had I turned left on 19th, and I'm at 17th, so I only went 2 blocks past it, but had I turned left on 19th, I could have turned right on Roosevelt, and that's where Roosevelt starts back up again. I'm reasonably sure that there is no Roosevelt Street whatsoever between 19th Avenue and 27th Avenue. This is an interesting piece of 17th Avenue, by the way. Had I turned right, I would have been on the old route for US 85, the old US highway system that predates interstate system. But going north from Van Buren, always just been 17th Avenue. 17th Avenue, what I'm driving north on now. But yeah, the route for US 85 used to be where I turned left. If I'd have went straight, that would have been US 85. If I turned right, that would have been US 85. Ooh, that truck room to turn. I can see I-10 passing overhead. It's not at a dead stop, but it's moving kind of slowly. It's just moving pretty quick for 6:42 in the morning. Yeah, Rob's not usually up until about 7:30 in the morning, so I'm still killing time, making a way longer vlog than I need to, and probably not one of my more interesting ones, but hey, this is what I do to kill time. Wow, that house is looking nice. This is still kind of a tough neighborhood over here, but unlike that stuff on the west side of I-17, I would love to get a house in this area. I do feel like this area is slowly gentrifying, and I feel like in the next 20 years, this is going to be a somewhat desirable place to be, even though it's still pretty sketchy right now. And this is one of those fun six-way intersections of Grand Avenue, Roosevelt Street. I'm back on Roosevelt, by the way. Grand Avenue, Roosevelt Street, and 15th Avenue. And I do believe I'm on a piece of Roosevelt Street that predates President Roosevelt, from when this used to have a different street name. The old Bikini Lounge on the left, that's still in business. Yeah, so Grand Avenue, the street that I just crossed that went through that six-way intersection on at a 45-degree angle, that is the old US 60. And none of those streets that I mentioned as US highway routes are still US highway routes. Now, if you go further out on Grand Avenue, it is still US 60, but not that part, not anymore. Now I'm getting into the part where it actually is big time gentrified and property values just jump up. In fact, it's kind of funny how within just a couple of blocks it goes from kind of questionable ghetto to fully renovated, really nice, really valuable homes. Back when I started driving cab in the early 90s, this was very much still ghetto right through here, but it's not anymore. In fact, on the right, it's brand new condos. The building on the right's probably built within the last 2-3 years. I'm driving through here, I'm remembering one time I went to Circle K on the left within like the last year, shortly after I got my car fixed after my extended period of being on the bus, taking the bus tickets on. A cashier that was stunningly gorgeous, and I'm wondering if she still works there. But I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep driving down Roosevelt as far as I can, because that's the adventure I'm on. So, see what it's like to try to take Roosevelt all the way home from the warehouse. I used to have a lawyer that worked in the building I just passed on the right. Or was it in this building on the right? Yeah, her office is around here somewhere. Now I'm trying to remember what her name was. She represented me in a criminal trial initiated by my ex-wife over an allegation of violating order of protection, in which I didn't violate the order of protection. If somebody looked deeper into my court orders in the same case, but of course, police officers never really look into stuff. They just have knee-jerk reactions when it comes to orders of protection. I wonder what's going on at the KOI building. Looks like they got a construction fence to the right there. It's a historic building, that KOI building right there on the right. That's a historic building that holds a lot of memories for me. I worked there in 1989 when it was KOI AM and FM, FM known as Y95. But that's the station I grew up listening to as a little kid. I don't know, according to my mother, I was listening to it before I was talking. When I was crawling, she said I was a baby. Somehow I got out of my crib, crawled to a radio, turned it on, and changed it from whatever radio station it was on to 55 KOI. I have no memories of doing this, but I can't imagine why my mother would lie about that. So, seems like something baby me would have done. All right, that was Central, so I'm now on East Roosevelt Street. And yeah, when I first became a cab driver, this was ghetto down here too, but now this is actually probably the most desirable neighborhood in all of Phoenix. Certainly one of them. Certainly the place to be if you're young and have a really high-paying job. Lots of trendy restaurants and clubs and coffee shops, and as you can see, electric scooters. The electric scooters are still happening down here. Kind of wild seeing that Lime is back here. You know, I was going to look into jobs at Lime, and I never did follow up on that. But at this point, I'm so happy at Amazon that I have absolutely no desire to leave Amazon right now. I feel weird saying that, but no desire to leave GYR3 for that matter. Yeah, I got a feeling after the stuff that happened this morning at the end of the shift, I'm thinking a leadership position in that department might not be out of the question. I don't know. See what happens. Wow, got some homeless people squatting right there on the right. That mural over there really is something. I'm not sure what that building is. That wasn't here back when I used to live over here. Welcome to Roosevelt Row. As I said, Roosevelt Row has definitely become one of the most trendy, desirable parts of Phoenix. Even though in the 80s and the 90s it was pretty ghetto. Now that's like kind of the center of one of the arts districts. You know, the angle on my phone seems kind of off right now. And that's where the first Friday festivities take place, which is something I haven't participated in ages. There are other Phoenix YouTubers that cover First Friday pretty well. Oh, you know, I was talking about a while ago before I got distracted by, hey, look, I'm on Roosevelt. I was talking about Venice Beach. Anyway, I landed on Santa Monica something. One of the other channels I used to watch when I was kind of keeping up on what was going on in Venice Beach with German in Venice. And the all-knowing YouTube algorithm recommended a video of cleanup going on, homeless cleanup going on down there, and I thought, well, I haven't really been following the Venice Beach homeless encampment situation in a while. Well, that scooter looked like it was on. I don't have time to play with that. Part of me wants to go for a joyride on a scooter that's not shut off. I haven't done that in ages. I do think I've got some vlogs where I'm doing that. I feel like I've done that since I've been vlogging. I think I've vlogged on a couple free rides on unlocked rental scooters. It's always a blast when I can do that. Oh, it's so disappointing when I'm riding one and it suddenly decides it's gonna lock on me. It's like, no, don't take away my free ride. Anyways, I landed on this Santa Monica channel that was covering Venice Beach cleanups. And for those who don't know, Santa Monica is adjacent to Venice Beach. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've watched any of those kind of videos, and just had so much other stuff going on. I just haven't been paying attention to what's going on in Venice Beach. And apparently now there's this really nutty chick that's really hot that's always there when they're filming and when the cleanups are going on. I don't know if her name is Daisy, but people seem to be calling her Daisy in the comments sections. And the one video I watched, she took her shirt off, and she's got a hell of a rack. Took her shirt off and just started singing. It was pretty crazy. Of course, it's on YouTube, so it's censored, but a lot of people in the comment section is like, hey, we're going to watch an uncensored version of this. Anyway, that's definitely something I want to see in person the next time I go to Venice Beach. Not that a trip to LA is anywhere in my near future, but you know. Although it probably should be. I still haven't got my scooters back from my friend that I took them out to that was working on them, Andrew. I hear from him every now and then on Snapchat, but we don't chat as much as we used to. All right, coming up on 16th Street. Anyway. Sorry if I'm not making much sense. I got so many different thoughts running through my head as I'm just kind of taking the scenic route home. Along Roosevelt Street, or as close as I can be to it. Now, when I get up to 32nd Street, which is in 2 miles, I'm gonna have to make a decision as to whether I stay on Roosevelt Street, which doesn't really take me in the direction of home, or whether I decide to abandon this adventure of taking Roosevelt Street home as much as I possibly can from GUI through to my place. It's the Ranch Market on the left. Used to be a Smitty's. It's a really cool grocery store. That Hawk's pretty new. Wow. Those are really, really new. Those mid-rise apartments on the right. When I first started driving cab, there used to be a traffic light, a stoplight at this intersection right here, 20th Street in Roosevelt. They took that one out a long, long time ago. I love this bridge here. This is where Roosevelt Street crosses I-10. You got the mini stack to the north, and no intersection. It's another one of those roads that's just great when rush hour traffic is bad for avoiding it. All the freeways and major thoroughfares around here, like 5 p.m. will just be absolute gridlock. And granted, the speed limit is only 30 or 35 here on Roosevelt, but there's never any traffic to speak of. I mean, shoot, it's 6:56 a.m. right now. Definitely getting into rush hour traffic, and as you see, there's no traffic to speak of here in Roosevelt. Crossing 24th Street. Valleywise Health on the right, formerly known as Maricopa County Hospital. Maricopa Medical Center. I have really severe burns. I had a radiator explode and just burned really bad from it in the early 90s. And that's where they treated it. They did a hell of a job. I don't know if it still is now, but it used to, the burn center there used to be considered the best in the nation. County Annex on the right. Big mental hospital. I got to have a stay there during a mental breakdown. Yeah, that was fun. Coming up on 28th Street. Used to drive for a yellow cab owner-operator that lived just south down. It was not on 28th Street, it was on a side street. I think it was Garfield Street. So like 1 or 2 blocks south off 28th there. Really enjoyed driving his cabs. I am really jonesing to be a cab driver again. I should look in and see what my driving record's looking like. It's been about a year and a half since I wrecked the Prius. So. Again, not like I'm looking to quit driving or quit working for Amazon or quit working at GYR3, but all right, this is 32nd Street, and I'm just going to keep driving on Roosevelt because this is kind of entertaining for me. I should change the angle of my camera. It looks like it's going down a little bit much. Is that better? That's a little better. Brand new mid-rise apartments going in on the right. I would imagine that's probably one of those quote-unquote affordable housing projects. Not sure though, haven't really looked into it. So I'm about to run out of Roosevelt Street again. Right here is when it becomes adjacent to the canal. That's the Grand Canal on the left, which has a really awesome bike path that follows it from, oh gosh, I've got some in my vlogs, I've got me riding big chunks of it on electric scooters. I think it starts up at, like, I want to say not quite I-17, but just to the west of I-17, and it goes pretty much along all the way to Tempe. So that right there is the end of Roosevelt. This street that I just kind of did a 45-degree right angle to, I think it's called Indian Place. Some of those oddball streets that only exist for a few blocks. There on the left, part of the bike path network. Crosses the canal and connects to the bike path on the other side of the canal, the Grand Canal path. There's Garfield Street right there, and Indian Trail. I knew it was Indian something. Indian Trail. Oh, I got somebody behind me who probably wishes I would speed up. Whoops. Curves right and becomes 26th Street. Or I'm sorry, 36th Street. 36th Street, which is the half-mile grid street between 32nd and 40th. that school that I'm passing on the left, I don't know what the name of the school is, and I couldn't quite see the sign. Crockett Elementary. That's where the polling location was that I went to, not last election, but the election before, the 2020 election. For a half mile, for one of the half-mile grid streets, this one's awfully narrow. And it ends right here at Van Buren. And one block off to the right is my storage. And hey, it's 7 a.m. Actually, it's 7:02. I think the gates, the automatic timers on the gates let me in as long as it's after 7. Wow. Now I'm actually really glad I decided to just keep going straight, because I wasn't planning on coming here at all. I was just kind of driving down Roosevelt Street to drive down Roosevelt Street. It's awfully dark here. I'm not sure if the gate will open this early or not. Let's find out. Yep, it's after 7 a.m. Now, back before the back before the change of ownership and the automated gates getting put in, when Bill was the resident manager, the hours used to change based on when the sun would rise and set. So this time of the year, it didn't open until 8 a.m. Whereas when the sun would rise earlier, around the summertime, it would open. He'd open it at 7 a.m. just to kind of keep people from being here when it's dark. But hey, I'm here. On that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Might shoot some more video of the adventure of trying to move my Benz. Making no promises on that, though. I know I'm going to have my hands full with that project. But if I had some loose ends, things I was talking about, my mind's going in 30 directions at once right now. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you got any questions, feel free to comment about it. I do try to respond to the few comments that I get on this channel. But yeah, I've got some recycling in the car, and now's as good of a time as any to take it out and put it in my storage while I'm killing time before Rob heads to my place to pick me up.